Anthropic re-released Claude Fable 5, and it can do a week of consulting work in one afternoon. In this video, I will share the exact prompts we use in our 7-figure AI consulting business, so you can copy every single one of them. I'm going to run our real AI audit process on a fictional company called Meridian Freight. The problems we will go through come from patterns we have identified across more than 50 real audits. It will be the same exact process we charge tens of thousands of dollars for. We found close to $500,000 in projected savings when we ran this process at full scale for an insurance company called IBS. Prompt number 3 alone can save your reputation as an AI consultant, so never skip that one. Now let's get into it. Starting off, let's say an email similar to this one lands in your inbox. A 45-person freight company. The owner is 58, he's skeptical, and he just lost his second biggest customer because his pricing takes 4 hours while his competitor answers in 15 minutes. The email is 400 words of rambling. We run these audits across 20 plus industries, and I can promise you, almost every conversation with business owners looks exactly like this one. Here is how most people get this wrong. They paste an email like this one or a conversation into a model and ask how to reply. And the model gives them a sample reply, which is not really valuable because texting a reply was never the hard part. The hard part is knowing what's missing. Look, the rule with Fable 5 is different from every model before it. You should give it the reason and let it interrogate you. Anthropic says this in their own documentation. This model performs much better when it knows why you're asking. On screen, you can see the exact prompt to use for proper discovery and scoping. Now watch what it does when I run it with the email from the owner. It asks for the wage data. It asks which systems they run. And my favorite is the fact that it flags the owner's numbers as claims and not facts. It quotes all that from one rambling email. That question list is the discovery call agenda. Just 10 minutes of preparation and you walk into your first client call sounding like you have done this for years. Quick thing before we move into the second prompt. I compiled every prompt in this video into one document. You can get it for free using the first link in the description. Okay, so now the real work. During an AI audit, weeks 1 and 2 are usually intelligence capture and workflow mapping. At IBS, that meant we were embedded inside the company for 45 days, literally like a new employee. Fable 5 compresses those 2 weeks into one afternoon, and I'm going to show you how that happens. Let's say we have 4 interview transcripts, one with the operations manager, one with the dispatcher, one with the accountant, and one with the owner's son who does the pricing. About 4,000 words of people talking over each other. On screen, you can see the second prompt to use in this case. Now, this runs for a while, maybe a few minutes. That's completely normal for this model. And to be honest, you should be concerned if it finishes instantly. Deep work and reasoning take time, even for machines. And here is where it gets interesting. Look at what it found. The owner says his team does 20 pricing requests a day, but his own son says 14 and he cites his own tracking. The model caught that contradiction and told me to verify it inside their system before building anything. It also found their management software has had an API, a connection point for other tools sitting unused for 2 years. Nobody in the company knew what to do with it. Fable 5 also found the person inside this company who should own an AI system after we leave, as I asked in the prompt. One operations manager who builds every internal tool in Excel. Every single time we run an audit, there is always one person like this, and it's so important that you identify them. The model just read 4 transcripts and picked her. This used to take hours and hours of discovery calls. Now let's get into the honesty prompt. Here is the problem almost nobody talks about. AI models want to please you. Ask for a return on investment table and you will get one. Beautiful, confident, and partly invented. And if you put invented numbers in front of a client's board. Your consulting career has a ceiling. It might have an ending. We have a rule at Monk from more than 50 audits. Every dollar figure must trace back to something a real employee actually said. This rule is why the clients trust the report. Anthropic built support for this straight into Fable 5. In their testing, this instruction nearly eliminated fabricated progress reports. On screen, you can see prompt 3, the honesty prompt. Now watch the difference. Without the prompt, the model estimates the accountant's salary confidently. With the prompt, every row has a name and a code next to it. And the rows it can't verify say so in writing. And if you are thinking, but Mert, doesn't that make the report look weaker? Complete opposite. A report that admits what it doesn't know is the one that the CEO believes. Confident but wrong answers are what get consultants fired. Alright, now we get paid. The last week of an AI audit is usually the executive presentation, and this is where Fable 5 genuinely surprised me, because Anthropic trained it specifically for financial analysis, spreadsheets, and documents. These are direct enterprise and consulting work. Let's say the client hands you a revenue export. The one I prepared for Meridian Freight has 3 different date formats, a duplicated column, and blank cells, which makes it realistic, because every client file you will ever receive looks almost like this. Here comes prompt 4. When I ran this prompt with the revenue export, Fable 5 found that one of their long-standing customers, about 6% of revenue, has a negative margin. They lose money every time that customer ships. 2 employees suspected it in the interviews, but nobody had ever run the numbers. The model settled a years-old argument in 40 seconds. That finding alone pays for the audit. Now, you don't need to be technical for any of this. Our coaching members, Sarah and Luke, closed their first paid audit just 6 days after starting our program, with no technical background. That first audit was small, about £1,000, but 6 weeks later, the same client was reviewing their $20,000 system proposal. That is exactly how audit first consulting works. You get paid to find the problems, and the build work comes to you. Now let's get into the part almost nobody covers. This model is expensive, and if you are running a consulting business on it, the bill is your cost of goods. So Fable 5 has a dial called effort, and the dial is your margin. Fable 5 has 5 settings: low, medium, high, extra high, and max. Per Anthropic's own guidance, high is the default. Extra high is for the work that your reputation rides on, but even medium beats Opus 4.8 at its highest setting. So here is exactly how you can map it. When formatting transcripts or cleaning a file, you can use medium. You will see almost zero quality difference. When conducting research or mapping workflows, you can use high. When preparing a board-facing return on investment table or an executive summary, you should use extra high, because a wrong number there costs you the client. These effort settings make a huge difference across a full audit. Using this table, you can keep real money in your pocket. Fable 5 allows you to run a highly profitable AI consulting business on your own, without the overhead of managing a big team. We now price our AI audits at over $10,000. Our coaching members close their first audits at a couple $1,000, and at that level, your only real delivery cost is AI usage. And finally, let's have an honest talk about what breaks while using Fable 5. First, your old prompts. If you have got a library of carefully engineered prompts from earlier models, most of them now hurt. Anthropic says it directly. Instructions that helped prior models degraded this one. Delete the scaffolding. State the goal, give it the reason, set the boundaries, and get out of the way. Second, refusals. Fable 5 came back with strict safety filters. Ask for anything that smells like security testing, even legitimate compliance work for a client, and it may decline or fall back to an older model, so you should plan around it. Route that work separately, know where the edges are and which models to switch to. And third, the clock. Included access on paid plans ended July 7, so it now runs on usage credits, so you should watch your spend the same way you would any supplier. Now, here is what I want you to do. Pick one business you know, a friend's company works. Run prompt 1 on their situation today and send them the 3 best questions it produces. That's it. That one message starts more consulting relationships than any certification. Comment below with the first industry you would run your first audit in, or what you want to see next. I read every one of them, and the answers genuinely shape what I film next. Remember, the prompts are in the description. This channel is an open playbook on how we built a 7-figure AI consulting business, so you can do the same. Now, click the video you see on the screen to learn more about the AI consulting playbook, and I will see you there.